Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Diaries of a Six-Figure Coach podcast. I am feeling good. It has been a week. It has been a hell of a week for me this last week. And here we are, July 16th. This episode is going to drop in a few days. I'm going to share with you today how you can steal my launch content strategy. This is going to be a juicy one, but I couldn't go there before I sort of let you in on what's been happening. So last week, I tied up a lot of loose ends as far as my personal side of life is concerned and moved things forward. Really big deal for me last week was changing my address on my driver's license. And yeah, taking this big step forward, after 11 years in the same place, after 16 years in my long-term relationship and marriage, it's all sinking in that I'm moving forward. And that was a big deal. And it rocked me, and the full moon rocked me, and everything just felt like a lot to carry. So the week was dense, and I sat with it, and I pulled back, and I created space in my calendar. And I had a couple of days where literally I really did a lot of nothingness. I sat in the sun, topless tanning. That is my jam. I will fully admit it. That is like my new thing. My new happy place is topless tanning and reading. So I felt called, I think it was on Thursday, to go to the bookstore, and I picked up a whole bunch of books. I picked up four books. I picked up The Surrender Experiment by Michael A. Singer, which I basically read the whole book in the day, which is incredible. I highly recommend it. I got The One Thing by Gary Keller, which I'm really excited to read. Law of Attraction and The Power of Now. So I think you get the theme that I'm in, but I'm totally right now in this space of surrender and in this space of embracing possibility. I feel like right now I'm facing so much uncertainty in my life. My lease for the place that I'm in is up by the end of August, towards the end of August. My plan currently is to head to Argentina, to head to Buenos Aires. But that plan may change slightly. I might make a stop in between, but I will make it to Buenos Aires. That is the plan. I still got to get my passport. That is a bit of a shit show. If you live in Canada, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But regardless of all that, possibility within uncertainty. What I really realized for me is that there was something really beautiful about not knowing. There was something really beautiful about being in this place of wonder and being like, oh, I wonder what's possible. I wonder where I'll be. I wonder what's going to open up. I wonder what beautiful people I'm meeting. And this place of wonder, this place of possibility, this place of openness is also a really, really great place when you're launching your program, when you're launching an offer. It's being in this place of possibility. And I'm going to dive into the energetics and the spiritual practices that you can do throughout your launch next week, in next week's episode. But remaining open to possibility, the possibility of somebody joining you, the wonder of what it will be like to have people come and join your program, to have people drop into your masterclass, to have people sign up for your service throughout your launch period. That is so magical. And when it comes to us putting out the content, when it comes to us really getting down into the main launch phase of a life launch, the way we put out content is quite specific. Like there's a rhyme and reason to it. We don't just sprinkle and put out content at random. There's a thought process behind it that guides our people, that guides our clients, that guides our audience all the way from your social media, from where you're creating the awareness, through all the different steps along the journey, whether they're going to be hopping into your DMs or clicking a link to get to a sales page and getting the whole vision from there, and then clicking buy or clicking to book a call and then joining you in your program, right? There's an entire journey with all these different stops that are happening. And I touched on that last week when I was talking about the vibe method and when I was talking about the second step a little bit, which is that invisible path. And the content strategy that I use, that I have developed, follows the client journey. follows the client journey. And the client journey is really studied consumer behavior. Okay, like this isn't just a made up thing. Like this isn't just a made up thing. And we can use that knowledge of research. We can use what we have learned around how we buy and then translate that into the way we drop content for our launch. And that is how my content strategy came to be. And it is very effective. And guess what? It's also very, very simple. So here's what happens. Get your pen and paper out. I'm going to spill the beans. I'm going to give you my content, a launch strategy, so you can steal it and apply it. Okay. So the first thing that we do is determine how long do you want to be in your main launch for. I like to do 10 days of really putting the heat and putting the focus on my offer throughout my social media. 10 days. And throughout the 10 days, you can also take a break. You can take the weekend off, whatever feels good for you. But 10 days really, to me, is a beautiful time to really give that offer, to give that program, to give that service the time and dedication and energy and love it deserves, in my mind. Okay, so 10 days for me is a really good time, but you could make this much shorter if you don't feel the 10 days, or you could make this longer if it's for a longer program, if that feels better for you. So everything comes back to the vibe. Everything comes back to you, right? Like we always bring it back to preference. We always bring it back to what feels good for you. And then we massage the strategy and the content strategy in. So I'm going to give it to you based on 10 days because that's what I like to do. That's what I teach my clients when they join me in launch. And that works really well. That works really well, especially if you are still in the building stages of your business as well. If you're still newer to business, okay? If you don't have a super, super hot audience yet, 10 days I find is really good. And there is also a pre-launch phase and a post-launch phase. Keeping in mind that the launch, the main aim of the launch is introducing the offer to the market, introducing your program and service to your clients. And consequently, that will lead to sales, okay? But there's more steps to that. So first 3 days, the first 3 days of your launch are really about hype. And that hype connects with this first stage of the client journey, which is around building awareness. Okay, so the hype is about building awareness around something coming. It's building awareness around the problem that your clients are facing. It's building awareness around something that they might want and desire. Okay, so it's about creating hype, and hype is excitement. It is excitement. Like, think about it this way. Like, the best example I've ever heard for hype is Super Bowl commercials. Super Bowl commercials. I mean, think about it. We're never really excited for commercials. Like, do you get excited when you watch commercials on TV? Like when they come on? I don't. But somehow, when it comes to the Super Bowl commercials have all the hype. Everyone's like, I wonder what the Super Bowl commercial is going to be, right? Like, we get excited. So what they have done really well is create this hype and this experience around a different kind of commercial through the Super Bowl, which happens to be a massive marketing piece for the companies that produce these incredible commercials. So this is the kind of hype and excitement that we want to instill over a couple of days through our content. It's about hype. It's about teasing. It's about dangling the carrot, but not giving the carrot. It's about saying something's coming, but not telling them what it is, while positioning the problem, while talking about a situation that somebody might be in that is undesirable, that they might want to change, whether that is having more irresistible offers that sell, whether that is actually welcoming clients from launching, whether that is losing 10 pounds or having greater spiritual practices that allows you to de-stress, that allows you to be more zen, or maybe tapping into the ethereal space a little bit more and being more connected to your guides, being more connected to your intuition. There could be so many things that we can do. right through this process. But hype is about hype and excitement. So for the first 3 days, our content is about hype, about dangling the carrot, about creating excitement. This is really the vibe that you want to be in. And remember from last week's episode, how do you desire your clients to feel during your program and after your program is the energy in which you show up even throughout that hype. But we're building excitement. Something's coming, 3 more sleeves, 2 more sleeves, 1 more sleeves, and then boom. On day 4, I love to drop my branding. I love to drop the graphic, introduce the name, introduce the tagline, and be like, boom, here it is. Here's the program. Okay. This is when the branding drops in your content. This is where we're like, boom, here it is. Like that's the commercial, right? Like the Super Bowl commercial drops on day 4. Okay. Day 5, what I find really works well is actually go into the details more. And the way I like to do that is actually go live or produce a video where you share a personal story, where you share the why behind creating this offer, and make sure when you're doing storytelling that you're really using something that is relatable, but then that also makes you stand out and makes you extraordinary as an expert in your field. So we want to really bring a relatable and an ordinary story through our storytelling. Why? Because we can connect with that. We can connect with that, right? Just like I just used an example of a Super Bowl commercial to explain to you what hype is like, what we're trying to create. And you would have probably nodded and being like, oh yeah, I totally get it. Because I've watched commercials, because I know the hype around Super Bowl commercials, right? Like this is an example of a very relatable story that I'm using that you can level with, that we all understand because we all live it and experience it. And then I tie that into business. Then I bring it back into something where you're like, wow, that is really cool. I get it now. Right? So you see, this is the dance that we want to do. So with our life that we're doing, where we're getting into the details, where we're introducing really the program, we want to start with one of these stories. We want to start with a story that's relatable and then positions us as the expert. And then we talk about our offer. We talk about what's coming. Okay. This is all about day 5 details. Okay, details. And then on day 6, I really love, like from day 6 to day 10, this is where I really want to focus on taste testing, value, and the energy. And we're sort of mixing pieces of content between storytelling, value posts, so how to post, what to do posts are great for that, that give people an idea of what you're going to be covering in your program, what they're going to learn from it, while also infusing it again with the energy and with the vibe. And you want to also mix in some engagement posts. So for day 6 to 10, that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's five posts, at least 5 posts where you're really focusing on that, right? Where it's more excitement, more coming in, but really those 5 days, your posts, you're focusing on value, you're focusing on giving, you're focusing on really giving people an idea of what it's going to be like to be in that space with you, in that program with you, to experience this service with you, to buy from you. Make it fun, make it exciting, give value, lead with value. We always want to lead with value. You really can't give enough value, and keep it micro focused as well, right? Like sometimes we have this tendency to give too much or pack too much into one post. You don't have to do that. Just more micro you keep it, the more tangible the takeaway, the more people will be able to connect with it. And so bringing this back to this client journey, we started with hype. We started with creating awareness. This is really the awareness stage that people are like, oh, there's something coming. Oh, I experienced this problem. Oh, actually, yeah, I want something else. And then we're introducing them to the solution by positioning our product as the solution. And this is where they're like, oh, there's a different possibility. Oh, I would like to learn more. And we move into the stage where naturally we desire to learn more, and we want to learn what the big picture vision is. Where could we go, right? Where could we go from here? And this is where through our content on when the branding drops, when we're sharing the details and all the value posts, where we're really creating this beautiful vision for people of what's possible. And we show them constantly where they are, where they can go, and how our product really fills that gap. So our product positions us in the middle that helps us get from point A to point B. Okay, point A is where they're now, point B is where they want to go, and the middle is where your program helps them to actually get there, because there's a reason they're not taking the steps. So we have to move them through this stage of awareness so they understand that there's something that they actually have a problem with, that they want to change. Then we show them the vision, we show them what's possible, we make it easy for them to take the next step, and the next step we sprinkle that invisible path. And then as we position our product, our program, our service as the solution, this is where people start to connect the dots between where they are, where they want to go, and how your program can really help them. And this is when, at that point, it becomes transactional, and we actually move from the offer to the possible sale. That's where you can start having conversations in your DMs, or maybe you jump on sales calls with people, or maybe people just go through a sales page and then join your program. There's different ways we can do this. Okay, there's different stages, and this is all something that I'm teaching inside Launched, which you can grab at 50% off until July 31st. This is my signature program that's coming back. I love launching. A lot of people call me the launch queen, a launch expert. I freaking love it. I have so much fun launching. But there's another couple of pieces to it, but this is really what we want to do, right? We move them through this cycle. Hype, branding drops, you share the details, and really share with them the why you're creating this, the purpose behind creating this offer in a beautiful, ordinary story that is relatable. And then you introduce your product, and then you share value, you share the excitement, you share the energy, you share stories, you get people to engage with your content those next 5 days. And then that's how you move them from the awareness stage into the vision, the possibility. And that's how we move them from seeing the possibility into the probability, to clicking yes and coming in your program and experiencing the program. And if you show up for your program the way you said you would, if you deliver the value that you've promised to your clients, then likely from that stage, you're also starting to create repeat buyers, which is even better. So bonus points there. So this is my live launch content strategy over 10 days. A couple extra brownie points here. I usually like to post at least 2 times a day during my launches, okay, 2 times a day, which means that every day I post twice. And I also like to launch my programs on multiple different platforms. So I may have 5 to 6 different places in a day where I'm talking about that program, where I'm launching this program. So I get really focused on that, and I really make it a big deal to really hit home that this program is coming and why they should buy it now and why they shouldn't wait. So there's a lot that is going into that as well. But what we want is really, what I'm aiming for is at minimum 4 to 6 places where I talk about my offer and give people the possibility and the opportunity to come and explore joining me, to come and explore taking the next step. Okay, that's how we move them. I want them to move first into the possibility. And then from the possibility, through the sales pages, through the conversations, through all the extra stuff that's happening, we move them into the place of where they're making the decision, where they can choose. Am I just excited about the transformation that's possible, or do I want it? Do I want my launches to feel like a vibe? Do I want my launches to convert? Do I want to welcome more people into my world? Do I want more clients? Do I really want all this? Do I really want all this? Am I willing to do the work for this? And if all these answers are a heck yes, then people will join, and that is what we do. That is what we do. So this is still my launch content strategy. I love launches. I love live launches. And most of all, I love teaching you how to launch in a way that converts, in a way that connects, in a way that positions your programs beautifully and introduces them to your audience in a way that has everybody excited, including you, and in a way that is sustainable, in a way where when you go through these 10 days, when you drop these posts, when you show up for your offer, we really want you to be in lean back energy and really moving yourself through energetically in the process. There's no more doing. There is no more getting things ready. There is no stressing. Things are set up when you're in those 10 days. So you can really show up fully for that process and be focused on enrolling clients, on launching and enrolling, and then also celebrating as people are dropping in. Now, if you've got any questions about this, if this relates and you're like, heck yes, I want to know more, then what I would invite you to do is either come and hop into my DMs on Instagram at Theresa Lambert Coaching, or if you're like, I want to learn from you, I want to know how to do this, then I highly, highly recommend that you now get your beautiful bum in to launched and lock it at 50%. The price is going to go up August 1st or 2nd. I think August 1st might be a weekend. So whatever the Monday is after that long weekend. And the price will be going up from there. And the price will keep going up all the way until we're into September when it actually is happening, which is also a fun way of doing it. And this pricing strategy is part of something that I'm actually teaching you inside Launched as well. So I'm touching on all these beautiful pieces as well. So if you want in, now is the time to hop in. If you've got questions, if you want to talk about this, if something really resonated, make sure you tag me, comment, send me a DM at Theresa Lambert Coaching on my Instagram. Let's chat. I love you all so much. I hope that you're having a wonderful week, and I can't wait to hear how this content strategy is working for you. So steal it, use it, do something with it, fill your beautiful programs with it. I love you all so much. This was a fun episode to record, and I can't wait to be back here next week where we dive into the energy of your offers.